I'm streaming, just don't see it on TradingView yet. There we go. All right, stream is live. Let me double check on the YouTube stream. And that stream is live. For some reason, we had some kind of technical difficulty. Well, not on my end, on the TradingView end last stream. And we didn't quite dual stream to YouTube. That's kind of unfortunate because last stream was really insightful. Welcome back to another chart mastery session. I'm going to cover BTC, Ethers, S&P, QQQ, as well as some alts. Any tickers you want to show me, and we'll cover those too. All right. I'm going to start with the S&P, right? I think indices are going to give us more of a direction on where markets are headed than crypto. And I said this last stream, and yeah, I think that's the case, right? When there's risk on correlation, and it's risk on. When there's risk off, it's risk off. That being said, both markets are highly correlated, not on a one-to-one, but in terms of if risk is on in stocks, then we're going to see risk on in crypto, and same thing for the inverse. Last stream, I did say that we were going up, right? I started with the QQQ chart, and let's just do the NQ, look at futures, and move drawings, right? And one thing I used on this was Phantom on the daily, and it gave us an upwards a buy signal, right? And we see these very rarely. And last time we saw one of those was COVID crash. Now, giving us a buy signal here doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna keep going up, right? It just tells us that there's likely a pivot and a squeeze and some kind of pullback to the upside before further continuation, right? And I'm trying to get an indication on where markets are headed in general, not just like each chart, because if we're correcting in the 5 rate hikes, then we're correcting in the 5 rate hikes, right? Everything should correct. Looking at the S&P, right, on the weekly, when we extend the all-time range, right, we see 4,546, right, 4546 as a target. We had previously seen this level hold as support, and now we're testing it as resistance. So I'd say on the weekly, bulls need to get above and close here to see any kind of continuation from all assets, right? Now intraday, what had we done? What had we traded? I did signal long down here with using UPRO calls, right? It's a 3x long on the S&P, right? And today I mentioned, hey, like, let's take some profits, take profits on half the position, because we're basically at the target, right? The target was the 61.8. I'll cover BTC and Ether after I'm done with indices. If you guys are the crypto curious folks. Now, you know, we're seeing 45.49, like right here. We're seeing a little bit of support, right? So ideally, we want a retest of 45.82 again. And I'm thinking we're going to see something very similar to 2018, which I highlighted in Discord this morning, with some short exposure to trade it, right? We'll come back to BTC here shortly. I have it on the left. But for now, I want to showcase what we saw in 2018. And here, like, it bounced right off the target, right? So 2018, we saw something very similar, right? It was actually a more savage drop. And then we saw a 61.8 retrace, right? We saw a big squeeze in everything yesterday, right? Google squeezed, Facebook squeezed. Apple didn't, but, you know, a lot of stocks squeezed. What we saw here, it's going to do like a, let's do an hourly, the way they're looking at the same time frames. I'm going to go ahead and make myself smaller because we're comparing charts. And here, let's do this. 2018. And there was talk of like interest rates in 2018. And rate hikes and such. So we were kind of in a similar, and it was post the the 2017 bull run, right? We saw a bull run in all assets, and now, and we saw a corrective year, right? We saw BTC correct for a year, and we saw indices correct for a year, right? So ideally, right, we saw some profit taking initially at the 61.8. So I highlighted this parallel in Discord this morning saying, hey guys, we're likely going to see some profit taking today after those big squeezes, right? And let's just send us back down. I'm taking a short down to 450 on the S&P, right? I think right here we'll have more direction what happens, right? So if we see something similar, and we see a pullback, some chop, and then it gets real choppy, right? What we ended up seeing in 2018, I'm just going to blow this chart up real quick, is a correction, right? So, being at a 61.8 where we are currently, I think it was a good profit take. It was a good swing, right? We traded UPRO from like 55, right? From 55 to 66. And our calls are still in the money, right? We have 65 calls and they're still in the money. I said profit take half, and we'll see what happens with continuation, because there is a possibility of ringing this 46.82 before a significant pullback, right? So we're kind of trading both sides right now, or I am. All right. Let's hop into the QQQ. What is the reason for the recent decline of Bitcoin? Man, that's just how markets work. Nothing goes up forever. Profit taking, off risking. Yeah. Nothing goes up forever. Just gotta keep that in mind, right? When you're trading anything. So QQQ, right? We broke out of the trend line, and we're still out of the trend line. I'm gonna go with closes, right? Let's do the NQ 4 hour. Look at closes, and we're seeing a pullback, right? But it's also doing a channel, right? It's doing a channel, and we could see it kind of maintain and continue up. We took profit on our QQQ calls yesterday, and there was a following leg up, right? But I mean, that was a good trade. They expire on Friday, right? And if we dip a little lower, we could have expired worthless in 2 days. So it was worth off risking that move. And yeah, we're seeing a pullback. We're seeing profit taking. That's normal. I mean, Google made 17% yesterday, and we're gonna see profit taking. All right. Let's look at BTC USD. Oh man, this thing looks like a mess. Let's look at the Bitstamp chart. It's been hard, right? Trading BTC. So I don't have longs in on BTC. I decided to trade stocks because we had better entries, right? Clearer entries, clearer targets, and this could be a bear flag, could be an ascending triangle. I see something that's giving me mixed signals, right? This could be a bear flag. This could not be a bear flag. Definitely giving me mixed signals. So in terms of formation, I don't want to trade it just yet. What happened to my stream? Why are we offline? Oh, no, we're still going. We're still going. It just, trading view cut out for a sec. Are you guys still with me? What I'd like to see is just looking at these extensions, right? We saw the chart hold, and we saw the 1.6 be the pivot, right? The 1.6 extension of this swing low to this swing high, and now we want to see this hold. We want to see 37,592 hold and become support. And if that holds, then I'd be willing to on risk, and and assume we're going to 47.20. In terms of bearish retracement, did we 61.8? We didn't quite 61.8. So I do think we're gonna get another test to the upside, right? At least 39,533. that's my consensus on BTC, right? If stocks keep going up, and if this wasn't just a short squeeze, so if the rally gets continuation, and let's say the 2018 scenario is completely scrubbed out, then I would assume that we're going to see continuation in crypto too, right? Let's get rid of that. And if the S&P goes up and we do see the 786 hit, I think BTCs do some kind of squeeze too, right? I think we could see a bear market. Even if we are in a bear market, we could see a bear market rally type move. What is the trend line doing on BTC is kind of take the closer. So we're pretty far away from the trend line. I'd want to see at least 50K one more time before we dump. Like if we're going to dump hard, I'd like to see 50K at least. This is just based on what we've seen in previous corrective cycles, right? We see these retracement moves, right? Like we saw this one, and that one rang is 61.8, right? So we want to see something like that in crypto too, just to give bulls some hope, right? And bears a good entry. All right. I've covered the S&P. I've covered the QQQ. I just covered BTC. I'm going to go into Ether. And then we're going to take any suggestions you guys have. Probably going to cover some stocks too. Ether's looking good. We rejected off. Let me see what happened here. So I had a minor 61.8 that I wanted to short, and it never got up there. But I don't like shorting unless it's at my target, right? And it never got to 28.45. I'm still looking for 28.45, right? And possibly even higher of like 2,900, right? Like that. It just seems like that's the next logical move, right? And we've seen crypto charts, come out of a correction doing this like stair step channel and then break out, right? So buy support, sell resistance. That's how I would trade this. Whether support's linear or it's fib, that's kind of objectively what you want to do. You want to buy low and sell high, right? So we had 1, 2, third bounce. So yeah, I want to see 26.40 hold, and I want to see move to 29.10. All right. You guys show me some charts. I'm gonna cover Facebook. We had a sexy play. We're in the money today. I said sell out, right? I do have an alert here for myself to stop out the rest of my calls. We were at like 295, right? When I signaled the calls for 325, and our target was 328. And I rang it, and it took like 2 days to get there, which is fantastic. Took profit on half, and then after I took profit, premium went through the roof. So it's kind of like a little upset that even though I sold higher, premium went higher. But it just tells you how options work. Huntsman, I'm feeling great, man. So yeah, I'm way over COVID, recovered. Thanks for checking in on me. So we want to see 328 retested again, right, before we try to short it or take profit. We do have like 2.5 weeks for this to run. So if we see a continuation type squeeze and hit like 370, then we've pretty much turned a couple of $100 per position into like several thousand. So that's why I said take profit on half. PayPal, I got wrecked on PayPal. It happens. Not like wrecked. I mean, it could still go back up. Earnings were really shitty. Can I counter this? Do I want to add? Because, I mean, the position's got time. Do we want to add? I would wait for, like, a reclaim of, like, 137, 136. Or maybe buy 136 calls. Because at this point, this is looking pretty bad. All right. Let's look at WRX, USD. Look at the tether chart just because it's got, like, real volume. Jeez, man, this looks like BTC's 2018 bear market. This is the India coin, right? To me, this looks bearish until it's not, right? Every single one of these bounces, or at least this last one, 1.13 was a short, right? Alright, wicked above the 61.8 and pulled back down. It's making lower lows. I hate to be bearish on a chart, on your chart, Huntsman. This really looks like BTC's 2018 bear market. Like, I'm just gonna put these side by side. This is crazy. Make myself smaller again. Right here. I mean, it doesn't quite look exactly like it, but it kind of looks like it. You see what I'm seeing, right? Where you see this initial pullback and like a secondary pullback, right? So here, geez, that wasn't even a 60. You can't see that. I'll move it shortly. Nice. So here we have like a swing high and then a breakdown at 61.8. And the following move was another 61.8, right? And then here, looking at that same swing, failure to close. Like, bears are really defending 1.75. A lot of sellers up here. And I think pressure is to the downside, right? It really reminds me of this chart. All right. You guys want to show me some more charts? I see a few of you guys online. Most of you are pretty quiet. At least say hi. What's next for BTC? Like, if we get a dump here, where is the next support level? $30,000, right? Back to July lows. But I do think, not that I think, but like I would like to see, but you know, market doesn't care what I would like. I'd like to see the first up squeeze before continuation, right? I'd like to see a squeeze rally, like a massive one where you shatter this trend line, right? And more of a bull trap and a bear trap. All right, you guys, if there's no more requests, I'm probably gonna call it. Love for you guys to be more engaged. Let me look behind me, see what charts I want to cover, and then I'll circle back to you. So it looks like we're getting a bounce on everything, right? We're getting a bounce on tech. Like Facebook's bouncing. Real important today on the intraday is seeing rallies to above the current like intraday 61.8, because that's where short sellers are going to be aggressive and play around. So like something like Facebook, we're going to see it break 326 or at least get up to 326. Something like Google. I think we already had the first 61.8. We did, right? What I mean by that, like, what are you doing looking at a 5-minute chart? Well, that's how you get good entries, right? There's a swing high. Let me center this chart for you guys and gals. And a swing low, right? And it pulled back and it shot up to 30.30. And that was the short. And now it's probably doing a continuation. Probably another 61.8 off 30.30. Bam, almost 61.8. Well, not yet, right? I think it goes up, hits 29.87, and probably continues down. If the pullback's going to continue, all right. Let's look at Apple. Is there a short play in here? Looks like it. People are expecting a big rally. I mean, we just saw it, so I'm expecting profit taking probably until Friday, into the close Friday, unless indices keep shooting up, right? Like, this would have been a good short at 174. It kind of still is if Apple is going to neck down. They did have earnings. Did they have earnings already? They did. And how did they do? They surprised. Thanks, Linvey. You guys hit me with some tickers. If not, I'm going to call it a stream. What's going on with Chewy? I sold my Chewy calls today. It wasn't really performing. Sold it above the drop, which is good. Alright, well, not getting a whole lot of engagement from you guys. Not getting a lot of ticker requests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in to today's stream. Next update is going to be Friday. Between now and then, if you want to show me some charts, get my opinion, or like hop in Discord, ask us some questions, you know where to find us. Links to Discord are going to be in our TradingView signature link. And yeah, I'll see you there.